Welcome back. Today I have some Lee chess rapid games that I want to analyze. These are from the last several nights. A few of them, if I remember right, should be pretty easy to analyze. I know that one of them I made just an obvious blunder, and yes, an elementary blunder, and hung my queen. And I won a couple of them, and seems like there was one that had a pretty interesting end game, but anyway, we're going to do our best to get a bunch of these games in here in my 30 minutes. The first one that I want to look at is, okay, this is the one I had just run the game analysis. I'm pretty sure this is the one where I hung my queen, but it wasn't elementary. My blunder was playing e5. I'm going to call that an intermediate level blunder because it's not immediately hanging my queen. If we back up, to me, an elementary level blunder would be, just putting your queen in front of a pawn or, taking here where it can immediately be taken by a lesser piece. But anyway, I should have known that when I did this, they were going to take here, and that opens up their bishop's attack on my queen. And they did take there. And I didn't move my queen. It doesn't matter where I move it. I'm already down +4 because they're going to get the knight for a pawn. But I didn't even see that diagonal, and I took the pawn, and they took my queen, and I went, oh my, I'm clearly not in the right state of mind to be playing chess. That one was easy. In hindsight, it's really obvious. I shouldn't have played e4. I had a whole bunch of moves, looks like, that would have been fine. Bishop to d6, rook f to c8. Okay, see, I'm not going to move my rooks unless I'm sure, because I always guess wrong. Here I would have guessed, this rook over to c8. h6 is fine, queen to c7. Even putting the queen back on the home square is fine. Yep, okay, got it. In this game, which I did win, it looks like I gave away a little bit of an advantage here at the beginning, so I'm going to use the Z thing. I'm going to click that spot, click the Z key so all the analysis stuff disappears. I know it's still down in the right corner. I don't know how to get rid of that, but thank you to one of you who told me about the Z key. That helps. Here, what I did play was D4. Okay, well, I stared at it a while. I have no idea what I should have done. I thought what I was doing here was... Whoops, it came back on. Sorry, I saw it come back on, but I didn't look at it. I thought what I was doing here was keeping, their pawn from advancing any further. I guess the problem with that is if they then tried to play their c-pawn and I took it, I would have tripled pawns. I don't know. I do know they were advancing, pretty heavily here toward my king, and I didn't realize, the graph said I had a slight advantage here. I don't know how much because I've turned that off, but I definitely didn't think I was ahead here, and I definitely didn't think I lost it by playing that. I can't move my knight right now. All those spaces are covered. I guess I could put my knight here. Not really, because, that pawn's defended. Oh, I guess if they moved it, then I could have gone. Is that what it was? Knight to g6? Surely not. Let's turn this on and turn on the lines. Oh, no, it was h5. Only move. Really? Why? Sorry, what does that do? Okay, again, I looked at this for quite a while. The only thing that I can tell that playing h5 does is it takes away a possible getaway square for my queen. Not that I would have any. Their queen's guarding there, and their bishop's pretty quick to be able to get to that spot. But that's all. Yeah, it threatens this pawn, but I'm not going to take that pawn, am I? Not with this rook and this queen staring at it. I don't think. And the engine isn't very helpful. It says if I did play h5, they would play queen to e2. I don't know if that would be their best response. It probably is among their best responses, but usually when you play the move and you see what it is, it'll show you a bunch of different things. But yeah, that's not obvious to me at all. So yeah, okay. I don't feel bad about that blunder because wait, I had moves that were better than that. I could have also played f5 or g5. Wait, what? Never mind. The move I played was just fine because I won this game. So my opponent played their best move here according to the engine. I guess, maybe that's the problem with d5 is I'm no longer defending those two squares where the knight can now go. And it does say that they want to go to knight to e4 or c4 depending on what I play. I played my best move, which was knight to d5, and they're going to put their knight on one of those. Oh, but they didn't. No, sorry, queen to e2. Backing up. Yeah, it says if I play knight to d5, I can expect them to play knight to e4. But when you actually play knight to d5, queen to e2 is their best move. Okay, well, my opponent couldn't figure out why that was a good move, and I fully understand that because I don't either. But they didn't see, I guess, that both of especially this one would have been a great outpost square over here on c4 because there's no more pawns that can attack it. And it says if they did play knight to c4, then I would play f5. Wait, I thought I would play f5 if they played this. Oh no. Okay, but anyway, they played over there. They still have a very slight advantage. My best move is to get my queen out of there because they just attacked it, which I guess was the reason they brought their knight. They played their best move, and they were ahead, looks like, for quite a while. That's a lot of moves, right? Let's turn off this engine here. From move 15 all the way down to 26. They were ahead all the way out to here. And they probably should have played h5 or rook to g2. Well, like my opponent, I have no idea what that one does. Rook to g1. Rook to g4. Okay, now rook to g4, I do see what that does. That prepares to move a pawn and attack my queen. Okay. King to g2. Well, if they play king to g2, then they definitely can't get their rook back there. So maybe the rook back there wasn't that important. It was just fine, but not important because it says it's okay to block that path off. Okay. Well, my opponent didn't find any of those, and they played that, which is a huge blunder, and I didn't know why. It's only a blunder if I play c4. And it says they wouldn't take it with either one of those pawns. If I played c4, they would play queen to e4, which would pin my pawn. Well, that's probably why I didn't play it. That's why I played this first, because this way, if I play the c pawn, they can't, wait, this way I can't play the c pawn. Oh, wow. Okay, well, then I don't know why I put it up there. I guess I was aiming for this pawn, but I can't really because they have, no, the queen's the only thing defending it. They need to play rook to g4 to defend it. Rook to f3 isn't the best, but that's what they played. And now we're right at even. If only I'll play... Two different moves keep us even, h6 or rook to h8. Well, I thought about h6 since their rook wasn't guarding this g-pawn anymore, so I played that. I thought they might push past, and if they did, I would have, the h-pawn. I could take it with the bishop and it would be check, but instead they dropped their queen back one. I don't know why, because that removed a defender from this pawn. That's why that was unexpected, because now that allows me to take it, and that's not my best move, but it's close. And then they brought it back. Oh, and I blundered here. I should have taken the free pawn. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I took that. Now we're almost back to even because they can take that. And I took here, and they took there. But now my rook's open on the H file. Okay, but we're still very close to even. G6 looks like my best move. I thought that it was. They had just put a rook behind this, so I thought, oh, they're probably about to advance that. Guess what? I can stop it from advancing by playing G6. And then my opponent blundered again. That's the same blunder they did last time, isn't it? Like 8-10 moves ago. And I should have checked immediately. Since they would have blocked with the rook, I would have taken. And they would have taken with the knight. And then I don't know what would have happened after that. Or just rook to h5 to come after this pawn, which I am not sure about that. They have two defenders on that. So I don't know that I would take it. As if I took and they took back and I took back, they would get more than I got out of that deal. That's one of my really good moves, or just move the king over. But I did that instead, and they moved over, and then I came after the pawn. That's why I checked over there, because now I have more attackers on that pawn than they have defenders, but they can bring their knight back, and now they have a bunch of defenders. So I ran away with my queen back to the, over here where I can guard this undefended pawn. They came forward. Oh, what was I supposed to do? I was supposed to push past. Oh my. Okay, well, I'm not learning anything from this game. Every one of those mistakes was incomprehensible to me, except the inaccuracy where they moved their queen back from defending that one pawn. That one I understood, everything else no. And in this game, look at the right column. I have the evaluation turned on. Mistakes, blunders, none. This is 19 moves showing up here. First mistake was mine on move 20. So that's just amazing, right? We stayed really even until move 20. I'm going to go ahead and back up to 19 because it says that inaccuracy took me from nearly even to over +1. So I'm going to go there and turn off the evaluation here. I should not have played king to d6. I thought I had to. Should I have brought the rook over to the d file? That's the only thing I can think of. Let's turn on the engine. Oh, I had a bunch of moves that would have been fine. c6 would have been fine. It says they would have taken it, but I don't think they would have. I think they would have pushed. That's the whole reason they have a rook behind it. If I come up here and they take, it's a passed pawn, but they don't have a rook behind it anymore. But if I move up and they go past, not only is that check, but it's a passed pawn. Oh, I guess I could get in front of it then? Okay, maybe so. So I don't know why that's my best move then. If they can take, and then this rook's covering this file so my king can't get there, I would then have to drop this rook down to get in front of that pawn. Oh, wow. Or I could move the rook first, and they would get in front of their rook. Well, yeah, I don't know about any of that. I thought I had to stop that pawn. So, okay, but that inaccuracy took us to +1. Okay, well, it's changed its mind. Slightly less than +1. Okay, but they played one of their better moves. We're very close to +1. And I jumped past, and that was bad. It's not any of those moves. The reason that I chose that move, I thought, yes, they can en passant me, and that'll be check from the rook, but then I'll just take the pawn, and I'll be okay. And if they don't take it, then I'm permanently blocking that pawn. That's what I was thinking. But I had to play rook to b8, or king to d7, to allow them to push the pawn further, or rook to g6. What does that do? Or f5, that just gives up a pawn, or bring this rook back here to a8. Okay, well, I don't understand that mistake either. All right, but anyway, my opponent built up a bigger and bigger advantage, as you can see, till about right there, and they should have played e5, which I suppose is what I thought they were going to do, but instead they took that pawn. Well, that allowed me to take e4. Was that my best move? Okay, good. And then we were drawn here for a little while. Actually says I messed up a little bit, so my opponent had a very slight advantage, but we were drawn after I was able to, chop off a couple more pawns, but they have some passed pawns. They played that one, and I played that one. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a pawn race. They only have one move that keeps them with the advantage, and that's to bring this rook back, and I assume it's to stop this pawn. They could also play d6 check, but it says I would just get in front of it. I wouldn't take it. Oh, I guess if I took it, then they could take here, and that would be check. But their blunder was pushing their h-pawn. That was a huge blunder that took us to minus 96. I think the reason is that I'm going to promote first, because once I promote and they promote, then I can start checking them. I can check them by taking this pawn. I can check them by, coming here. I can check them by coming, this way, all kinds of checks, right? But I sympathize with my opponent here. I don't know that I would have found this, or that I definitely wouldn't have found that, because it looks like it's just giving away a pawn. I think, if they had paused for just a second, and we didn't, we both got nearly 8 minutes left in a 10-minute game. But I think if they had paused just a second, they would have realized I was going to win this race, right? So they did that. Even if they knew I was going to win the race, maybe they thought, I couldn't keep checking them because of where this other pawn is. And then they might, end up being able to sacrifice for my queen or something. I don't know. But anyway, once I promoted, I absolutely had to check on d1, and I would have had a mate in 12. Or I could have checked on c4, and it says I would have had a mate in 32. But checking this way, big blunder. Now I'm only up minus 9. Fortunately, my opponent blundered just as well and allowed me to do that, and then they resigned. Yeah, so that blunder of mine way back here on move 20, or sorry, a mistake that put me behind for a huge chunk of the middle game here. Actually, it says that's the end game. Notice we've each used less than a minute here, and this is move 20. So we've been averaging about 3 seconds per move. I suppose, both of us are to blame for that, but here, like, how in the world am I going to know or be able to know that any of those is a better move than what I played? There was nothing in my chess knowledge, my chess history, my experience that would tell me that any of those moves are preferable to what I played. So yeah, I definitely cannot, feel guilty for playing c5. It seems perfectly reasonable to me. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, in this game, I only had one mistake, and it came really late after I was way ahead. So there's not going to be much for me to look at in this game, but again, look at this. No mistakes or blunders in the first however many moves. My opponent made the first mistake on move 14. Interestingly, before that mistake, I had an advantage as high as +3. We had each had a couple of inaccuracies, just a little handful. Actually, no, I had 2 and they had 2. But even after my second one, I was still up +2.4 right here when my opponent made the first mistake of the game. Just out of curiosity, what should they have played? Bishop to g4? Oh no, it changed while I was looking at bishop to g4. Bishop to a5, and it says I would have traded for that. But yeah, I had no idea I was ahead here. I thought we were either even, or maybe my opponent had a very slight advantage. I hadn't yet had a chance to develop my queen, and they've got this advanced pawn. What am I supposed to do about that? The only thing I thought about was that I was going to be able to take that pawn, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to, because then that opens up their rook. So they played that, and that was the mistake that they never recovered from. But just out of curiosity, where was my mistake? My only mistake was right here, where I should have played. Oh wow, I had a bunch of moves that I should have played. I could have captured this with check. Wait, wouldn't they have taken it? And then I would have played queen to d4. Sorry, yeah, I don't understand why I would have wanted to take there. Or I could have played queen to d4 first, and then I would have taken this on the next turn, even after they moved their queen, so it wouldn't be a check. Their king, I mean. Or queen to b3. Oh wow, every one of these lines has rook captures c4. And some of them are check, like if I capture it now, and some of them are not check because they would have had a chance to do this. So no matter what I played on the first move, I should capture that knight with my rook on the next move. And it looks like all the other choices are queen moves that point at the knight. Queen to e2, queen to b3, queen to d3, queen to d4. Yep, all of those, as far as I can tell, are just pointing at this knight, so I'm going to take it. When they take back, I'm going to take it? No, I'm not. Okay, then I don't understand. But that was my only mistake, was not throwing away the rook for that knight, and it was moving this. The reason I did that is because I wanted to bring it this way to hit the knight like that. My opponent got their king out of the check. Should I have taken the rook? I should have. Oh, but this time I did put my queen there. I don't think it was, I still don't think I was, thinking about taking this though, the knight with my rook. I think I was probably, aiming to like maybe protect a pawn push or protect the bishop or something like that. I think that's why I went up here, was to protect the bishop, but look where their queen is. That's funny, right? I don't remember how they got their queen over there, but that was pretty funny to me. And then we did this, and I was able to chop off a couple more of their pieces. That was a blunder because, wait, how was that a blunder? Oh, for some reason, queen to f8 was a blunder. I'm not sure why. It's because it takes us to plus 96 if I play rook to c7. Well, I did. Then they put their queen back over there. I don't know why they did that. I was able to pick off another pawn. They ran with that one, and I started running with this one. They left the defense of that pawn. I wasn't sure exactly how to win this, but one thing I really wanted to do was try to get my queen back around over here somehow. They pushed that pawn, I pushed that pawn, they pushed that pawn. I guarded the promotion square with my bishop. When they ran over there to challenge the rook, I came down here. I didn't think they were going to take the rook because I have a pawn here, and they didn't. They went over here because that pawn's not defended. So I took this pawn, and I said I was trying to aim for this square here, b6. But then they put their rook there. I don't know what moves they had. Oh, it was mate and 3 until they did that. Now their king doesn't have anywhere to go. So this is the funniest checkmate that I've had in quite a while. So I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, I did not understand my opponent's mistakes or mine, so I didn't learn anything from that game. Let's look at the next one. All right, in this game, according to the graph, I just had one blunder, and it was at this point we were even. I clicked the Z key to take off the analysis. I had one move here. Now, what I did play was took the knight. What? Sorry, all that stuff, that was weird. What I did play was F captures G6. I'm guessing I should have taken with the H pawn. That's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to turn this back on here, and yep, that was the only move. I don't know why. Why was this bad? It's bad because they can castle. It's also bad because this pawn's undefended. Oh, and now that's their best move. First it said castling was their best move, but their best move was to take this pawn, but they didn't see it at first. And my best move is just to push it forward. I didn't want to push it forward because I eventually wanted to castle here, and I wouldn't be able to if I pushed that pawn forward. So I tried to defend that pawn. But then I was just behind the rest of the game. I didn't know it. Where I knew it was here. And I'm down 4 points of material, and I realized I could have taken this bishop, but if I took the bishop, I was pretty sure they were going to be able to check me here. And then I would have to block with my bishop, and then they were going to double check me because they would move the knight here, which would be a check, and their rook would be coming down. So I would have to go up, which would leave the defense of my bishop or something. I don't know. It got really complicated. But yeah, so I resigned here just because, it felt like everything got messed up really fast. But no, I don't understand. I don't understand why taking there was, with the F pawn is so much worse than taking with the H pawn, but it turned out to be much worse. The only thing I can think of is that this is defending the E pawn. I guess I should have taken there just on the general principle that taking from the outside in is better, but I still wanted to castle. So maybe I should forget castling. Okay. I'll try to remember that. I should take from the other side. Okay. Next game. Oh my goodness, this one says I had 7 blunders, 3 mistakes, and 10 inaccuracies. And look at that. That looks like possibly I don't know, it looks almost like the sound wave of a hard rock song or something. It's pretty bad. I'm going to go to right here. This is the move that lost me the game, so let's go there. Click the Z key to remove the analysis. Where are we? Okay, they just played A5. I played bishop to A2. Okay, I brought my bishop back here to get in front of that pawn. But we were relatively even because it says, yeah, it's minus 0.2. So what should I have played? Should I have come after their bishop? That's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess I should have come after the bishop. King to D2. So let's turn this on and no. Well, king to D2 would have been okay, but king to D4 would have been better. I don't know why. King to D3 also would have been fine. I don't know why. Bishop to G8. Pretty sure if I had played bishop to G8, they just would have advanced the H pawn, so I wouldn't take it. Or H4. All those would have been fine. But that lost me the game because they could continue advancing the pawn, and now it doesn't matter what I do, they're going to be able to get rid of my bishop. Okay, so does that mean that the reason that this was bad is because I don't need my bishop over there, I need my king over there? See, that's why I would have played this. What would they have done had I done that? It says A4. I don't know that they would have gotten in front of their pawn. Oh, but they can't go here or here because of my king and my bishop. Well, then what would have the other, then why would I have gone here? Because now they can move it here. It still says they might go to A4, but I know they wouldn't. But yeah, they can go to C2. But then I can go, no, I wouldn't. Stockfish isn't sure. Thinks I might play H4 here, but if the if this pawn is the problem, I don't know why I would play h4. I would play king to c3, which is the second move listed. Now they would get in front of their pawn, and their king can't come forward because I'm blocking off all those squares with my pawn and my bishop. But now it wants me to go to g8 again, or h4, or bishop to c4, or now play bishop to a2, now that my king's over here. Okay, I think I actually get that. Because the problem with putting the bishop there first is they're able to put the pawn here and then later put the bishop there, and I can't stop that pawn from passing. But I can stop that pawn from passing if I first move my king in that direction to be able to get over here. I actually did learn something. I'm actually past my 30 minutes now, but I think I only have one more game. I'm going to look at that too. In this game, I only had one mistake according to the graph, and it was right here on move 10 when I castled. So I should have done something else after my opponent played c6. What was it? Not castling. Should I have brought the knight back? Should I have taken here? Don't know. I'm going to guess it was taking there. It was. No, it wasn't. It was taking here. I do remember considering that. And then I thought, what if they take here? And I haven't castled yet, and they've got their queen and their knight aiming at my queen. So then I would have to take their queen. They would take back. I would get their knight and have a separated, isolated pawn, and then they would take my knight. That's what I thought. So we would come out even, but I would come out with, I guess they would have an isolated pawn too. But they would have a rook on an open file. But for some reason, that's the only move that keeps me with the advantage, and this took us back to 0. Okay, sorry, I don't know why it would work out better the other way, but let's just check. If I had taken here, let's assume they would take this. It says they wouldn't, but why wouldn't they take here? Oh, because I'm up +4 now if I take their queen, and it says they would take back with the bishop. Oh, because I don't have to end up doing this because I'm going to take here, and if they take, then I take their knight, and I came out a piece ahead. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. How did I come out a piece ahead? Did I do the math wrong? Oh, it's because they gave up their bishop. Let's backing up to here. Right, I did that. See, it says that they should just take back here, and then we would be fine. And I would just be up then, even though I don't know how. But I thought they would do this, and I would take here. But the thing that I missed is when they took the queen, is I could take back with the knight and save the knight, basically, or at least go up and exchange there. That's what I missed, because I thought they were going to do this, I would do this, and then they would take here, and I didn't see. Okay, I missed that. I got it. But even after this mistake, we were even, and we were still even out here on move 24, when my opponent, I guess, miscounted what was going on down here at f2. They had a bunch of moves that would have kept us even, but when they did that, I was pretty sure all I had to do was take. Because even though they have a queen and a rook pointed here, I have 2 pieces defending that square too, and I'm up a piece. So I thought I was okay. At that point, they decided to double up on their rooks. That's when I doubled up on mine, and then they did double up on the rooks, but still I have as many defenders on this square as they have attackers, and I just decided to push my e-pawn down there. It says I should have taken here, but I just decided to go push. I thought, I might be able to hit that rook here in a second. So I did that, and then when my opponent played this, I saw an interesting opportunity because I could take there and pin that rook. Is that my best move? Okay, it was. So I took there and pinned the rook. Well, now they have a passed pawn, so they decided to push it. I wanted to take that rook, even though, it's defended, but I can't move my rook either. I realized both our rooks are pinned by queens right now. So it was my best move to move my king, so I did that. I don't have as many defenders here as I used to, but they don't have as many attackers as they used to because that rook is pinned just like mine was. But mine's not pinned anymore. And then for some reason, they just took my rook, so I took back, and they still can't move that rook. And then after I took back, they resigned. So I'm not sure why they did that. Their best moves were g6, g5, d2. What would I have done about d2? Oh, I could have just taken it. Well, that would have worked out nice. h5. Oh, but that was their 5th best move. Okay. But it kind of surprised me when they played there. And for just a second, I wasn't sure if I should take back. I thought maybe it was a trick, but I was like, no, that rook can't do anything. So that's what I did. And maybe they didn't realize it was pinned. Maybe that was the whole plan. Maybe after I took back, they were going to take here, and then I would be in danger of getting checkmated. And then once they realized that the rook was pinned, I don't know. I don't know why they played that, or why they played that and then immediately resigned. But anyway, I'm glad I won that one. I think I did learn something from, I want to say, about half of these mistakes and blunders that we looked at. As always, if you saw something that I missed, feel free to help me out in the comments. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.